Hello everyone and welcome to a deck profile video for the extra grand battle so that maybe you two can get a serial Yamato, because I have just come back from winning my third serial Yamato with blue yellow Nami, and I just wanted to talk about the deck profile, the inclusions, and maybe a little bit about the events. So yeah, let's jump into it. And also don't forget to subscribe, please. Alright, let's get into this deck profile, and first things first, shout out to Marcus for letting me borrow his absolutely blinged out Nami deck for regionals and for these events, because I do not have base rare SR yellow SRs at all because they're too expensive. So shout out to him. And let's get into the deck profile. So first of all, I am running the Thriller Slop version. So we've obviously got the 4 Hogback, 4 Perona, and 4 Kumasi. Thriller Slop is just great. It's all purpose. There are some matchups where you can just trigger like crazy, and other matchups where you just take it to hand and use it for trash fodder. So it's great. Obviously Perona into Anel is fantastic. Hogback into just as a sticky body, just into anything, but also into the, I've said it before, the honorary member of the Thriller Bark Pirates, Kikunojo, being able to be summoned off the Hogback is fantastic. Even when you have 0 targets in trash for Hogback, if they decide then it's okay to swing at the Hogback because of that, and you can just leader effect to buff your leader to 7 for the turn by trashing a Kiku and then letting the Hogback die, and all of a sudden they're just absolutely cooked. Absolutely love it. Love this slot package. Then we've got our 2Ks, which other than Kumasi is 4 Zeus and 2 Baby 5. In a Just Draw It deck, the Baby 5 trigger has come up way more often than I tried Hiyori, and I just never used Hiyori. I feel like it almost never saw play, whereas Baby 5, sometimes you're like, I need to draw something, let's trigger it, and then you draw it, and it's great. Love Just Draw It decks. Speaking of Just Draw It, just draw this card in your opening hand and you'll have a good game. It helps you just draw it by cycling 1 and then giving you an extra turn every turn. Obviously, it's great. And then your other curve pieces that you want to see in basically every game is the 5-cost Nami, just a completely overstated card in standard and extended. And so is Robin, just insane, pretty standard. And then we've got the final boss of the Thriller Slop engine. And then I have 1 Zoro and 1 Marco to bring back off of Moria trigger based on what the situation calls for. And also just to play in the early game, like, and to have another blocker as well, because like, especially in the mirror, I've noticed, or into any matchup that has big things, but mainly the mirror, in extended, like, it's really nice if you can get this out early, especially when you're going second and you have a girl, you just play this out and then it sort of stays on the field for a long time. And then in the late game, when you can turn your Robin and your Gecko or even your Newgate sideways without worrying about them just donning up and clearing it, which is really fantastic. And it also, you know, keeps your hand size decent in the mirror, which is also important because you end up protecting your board a lot of the time. And then we have our late game stallers. Borsalino, one of the most broken cards ever printed. And 3 Newgate. Even in extended, you still need Newgate. It's just a really solid top-end card. Especially in the mirror. And I was expecting a lot of mirrors. And then finally we have our actual extended new additions, which is 2 Mihawk. This card is fantastic. It turns your Lucy matchup from completely trash, barely winnable ever into actually not too bad. If you see 1, it's not too bad. If you see 2, you pretty much can't lose. So like, yeah, just being able to bottom deck their 7-cost Sabos, because obviously, importantly, even if they have Leo on the field, it only protects a 7k or less power, so there's nothing they can do to stop their Sabos from being removed unless they're... Actually, no, even if they're running 4-cost Sabo, because I'm pretty sure it says other than Sabo, so there you go, there's nothing they can do. And then finally we have 3 Red Rock. Again, just makes your bad matchups more playable, like Mihawk, Ace, Lucy, all instantly more playable because of this card. Even yellow decks, when like they stick 10 cost Anel against you, can be quite difficult, but with this, obviously, unless you're playing against Sky Luffy, this makes that an easy answer. Like, I played against the yellow Anel, and I was just not worried at all, because normally I'd be a bit worried if they can stick some 10 cost Anels, but against this, nothing they can do at all. And obviously in the mirror changes quite a bit in extended. It goes from the Whitebeard War, like where you just want to play more Whitebeards than your opponent, and you can win even if you're going second, just by having more Whitebeards than your opponent. Whereas now it's just whoever can curve better and then answer the most Whitebeards. So especially if you're going first and you can just curve out normally, you know, Nami, Robin, Gecko, instead of playing a new gate, you can just answer their new gate with Red Rock, and then you sort of just win the game because you just run their board over and then they can't come back into the game. So yeah, let's talk about some matchups. I'll pull it up. I have it written down. Yeah, I had it written down on my Twitter. Go follow me at Futabby. Subtle plug. So I used obviously Blue Yellow Nami at all three and only made some minor adjustments, and this was the final list for the one that I played last night. In the first, I think we played top cut at all of them. Yeah, it was crazy. So we played top cut at all of them. So none of them were just 5 rounds, unfortunately. So it was win against Purple Enel, win against Sky Luffy, win against Lucy, win against Purple Enel, and then lost in the mirror. Won both against Purple Enel in top cut, and then final round split with the mirror. Fair warning, I did split all 3 of these in finals because it's a lot of money. And then it was next day, the next tournament, we had a uncapped event with a top cut starting at 6:30 p.m. So already the warning bells were sounding. And we played 7 rounds where I lost the first round and then had to claw back and won the next 6 into a top cut where I beat Sky Luffy in top 8, and then we just split because it was midnight and we would have had to play 2 more rounds like after midnight, and we were like, hell no, I want to go home. So that was literally like a regional length event. That was pretty brutal. And the one I used the other night, also pretty brutal. I went 5-0 in top cut, 5-0 in Swiss, and then had a top cut of Jinbei into Yellow Enel into Mirror. So I do think this deck is really well positioned in Extended because it still beats Enel. Obviously, if you're taking the Thriller slot, you're beating Enel almost no matter what, like if you play well. I had a game yesterday against an Enel where I lost dice roll, went second. I saw no girl on 2. I saw nothing on 4. I saw nothing on 6. And then my first unit was going to be Robin on 8 and attach 1 to leader. And I got Rip Lord, I got Scam Lord with like 8 cards in my hand. And I was like, all right, as long as it doesn't hit the Robin, literally first card he rips was the Robin. So that was pretty grim. My 8 on turn turned into like Zeus Borsalino or something like that, which is not the worst, but definitely not the best considering that those are the first units I've played. And then the first real unit I played on 10 was Gecko Moria, and I managed to win that game. So you can always win against Enel. Even if you feel like you're losing the whole game, sometimes out of nowhere you're like, wait, I'm just winning this game. And your terrible matchups get a lot better because of the cards that you introduce with extended format. Especially the Mihawk felt fantastic, and the Red Rock felt almost as good. So yeah, very happy with it. And yeah, that's about it. So, you know, get out there and win your own Serial Yamato, and good luck. And I'll see you guys later. Ciao, ciao.